How you doing, Detroit? I was thinking same. Let's make that border a love border. We can make some northern and southern Korean babies tonight. Yeah, I'm stopping before I hit that one. Whew. All right. Good.
Hey guys, before we get started on today's episode, let's hear from Tim on the Week 3 injuries.
So this is the first week that we are doing an injury report, fancy-wise, so I guess we'll just get started. The first guy I'm looking at here I have is LaShawn McCoy. Looks like he had some cracked rib or maybe a cartilage issue going on with his chest. I'd say 2 weeks is probably likely, but really it's whether or not he can get doped up on something enough to actually get into the game and play and tolerate it. Joe Mixon's the next guy I'm looking at. Reports are that he did have some sort of torn meniscus. Sean can attest to this. It's not always a great thing. The reports I saw is that he's likely going to be reassessed in 2 weeks. His surgery is still kind of a big deal, but in the grand scheme of things with the meniscus, you can be non-weight bearing for up to 6 weeks, 8 weeks even. So for him to already be weight bearing with this is kind of a good news from a fantasy perspective. Next guy I'm looking at, Dalvin Cook. You guys are going to notice a trend with the next couple of players that we're going to talk about. Hamstring injury. So he stated after the game that he felt like he was having some sort of cramping going on with his hamstrings. The problem with that is a lot of the times players don't always know the difference, especially when it comes to hamstrings. Sometimes it does end up as a strain. Leonard Fournette, he said he was supposed to be practicing today. He's one of these guys that said from day one that he was fine, but it looked like he did have some sort of strain. I wouldn't be surprised if he suited up this weekend, but with a limited snap count. I think it's been about 2 weeks. That's usually the minimum you see with a hamstring strain, especially if it's minor coming back. I wouldn't be surprised to see him on a snap count. Devontae Freeman, this one was kind of tough. Sounded like he had a knee contusion. Sometimes these bone bruises can be a little bit worse than even fractures. They can take longer to heal because it doesn't really facilitate the healing process the same way that a fracture would. I've heard anything from a couple of weeks to several weeks. That'll be something we want to track. I don't think he's suiting up this weekend. But there's really no way of knowing what's going on just because they haven't put out any information about it. Marquise Goodwin, he's looking doubtful for week three. He had a deep thigh contusion. These are just a pain. Again, this is one of those play as tolerated kind of things. Fitzgerald also is dealing with a hamstring strain. They indicated it was pretty minor. He's likely to miss this week, I think. But with Fitzgerald, I think he's missed like 3 games in 10 years or something like that. The man's a beast. Who knows? He could suit up, be on a pitch count. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if he was sitting this weekend. The last guy I'm looking at is Alshon Jeffrey, the man of tissue paper. He participated in practice today. So it looks like he's trending in the right direction. This is the first time practicing with the team since his shoulder surgery in the offseason. He will not be back this week, probably not next week either, but he'll soon. So who knows what that means. If you guys have any other questions, text me or I think it was Joe was the other athletic trainer. I like answering these kind of questions. I think they're super interesting to follow and pay attention to. So if you guys have a question about a guy that I did not talk about, just text me, hit me up, let me know. I'll share what I know. Cool.
All right, welcome to episode 5 of the Frenemies Fantasy Football Podcast. This is also known as Phil's Getting Married Podcast.
Yay.
Oh, yes, it is. Yay.
Can you guys believe it? We made it.
Phil, congrats.
We made it to 5 episodes.
5 episodes, and nobody's taken us off of YouTube yet.
It's impressive.
Maybe today. I think I'm so happy we're in double-digit viewers. It's getting to my head a little bit.
So I got to ask you here, Chris. What is going on here? We're making a statement.
After I thought we got double-digit viewers and listeners, I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend the money we don't have at Party City and get my FitzMagic going. So you guys know FitzMagic, a.k.a. Fitzpatrick, is amazing the first 2 weeks in the fantasy season. And if you guys watch his post-game interview...
Wait. You seem like you are kind of like trying to mimic him here. Is that what's...
a little bit. I mean, everything is real. Plus
I mean, I know that you try to be original with fashion and everything, but honestly, you look actually identical to him.
Yes. I mean, people think he's extremely good-looking, and I am extremely good-looking. So I'll take that. I'll roll with that. But, if you guys on our league, you look at my pictures, FitzMagic, I was just all about that after that interview. And so much.
Fantastic.
I had to dress up like him and get in front of camera.
Okay.
Without my wife's permission. Anyways, let's get some fantasy football news here. What's the first thing on the docket here, Sean?
So we're going to discuss this trade that many people probably didn't even know was going on, but it was a funny one that went between all of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Sunday I was actually watching some games with Chris, and he's talking about this Josh Gordon trade that, Ryan's kind of interested in Josh Gordon. So I was like, you should just toss some Josh Gordon for Le'Veon Bell.
And I did.
Wouldn't be surprised what would happen. And then apparently Ryan...
I've been tempted, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be honest, gentlemen.
That's
sexist,
no
ladies
ladies.
and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, what a man. I told Chris, you just got to keep sending him pictures.
Cue the picture.
Yeah.
Boom. Do you see that?
That picture.
How could you not be tempted? I am extremely tempted to trade Chris for that beautiful, muscular man.
Muscular.
Yeah.
To be continued.
And having him sit in my trade proposals for like 2 whole days before ESPN took it down was very hard for me.
It was just too good of a trade. Gordon
Even though it's
Bell.
Josh Gordon, he hasn't really been on the field that much. I've always loved him. And Le'Veon Bell is not playing.
It's intriguing. Now he's going to New England. What can he do? Can he do what we all thought? And
since
put
we
some
have double
digit.
Yeah.
You're talking about double-digit listeners. I was talking about double-digit fantasy points. I was like, what? Oh, man. But all right, let's roll from that. That was a cool little trade offer there. I was trying to tempt, Ryan over here to go Gordon for Bell straight
I'm still
up.
tempted.
Tempted.
For the record.
Watch him blow up this week, and I'll be like, still want him now. Anyways, let's talk about the overall thoughts on week 2. Sean, what were your overall thoughts from this week of fantasy in our league?
So my big thought was this top 5 score thing. For sure, Monday night, I was up watching that because there was some serious drama going on.
Yeah, there was.
Like, David wasn't kidding when it would keep us more engaged because that's what it did. You just were, the points were bouncing. Tim was just barely getting up into that spot. Me, Ryan, and Tim were basically all fighting for that last 2 spots in the top 5. So I like it. I think it's really cool to have that
I think it was
to the end.
It was a good one, Reverend David, for bringing that in. I think that made it a lot more exciting. I mean, I was watching the Bears, the Seahawks,
exciting and unrealistic.
Just watching the game.
Well, and it didn't change much. That's kind of been the interesting thing. I went through the standings, and right now we're the same as ESPN.com, so it hasn't even really changed anything.
We'll see what it does in the next few weeks. But with me, my overall thoughts, like, what's up with the kickers? As a Viking fan, it devastated. Like, tying, it's like kissing your sister. Like, no. Like, why do we tie? But we talk fantasy relevancy with our kickers. I mean, we're talking about Phil. His kicker got hurt before, like, the game started.
Thank you.
Or, like, after the first play. I mean, having nothing sitting on your bench.
That's
there.
true. That was probably the difference there.
Yeah, and then Sean, you forgot to put a kicker in the starting lineup, and you had to do some maneuvering for the Monday night.
It's a good thing I did. I wouldn't have made that top 5 if I didn't get him in there.
It made it really, really relevant there. And Ryan, what was your thoughts on week 2?
I am getting away with a lot. Somehow I got the win over Phil.
Fantasy crimes.
Hey, Phil is a fantasy juggernaut.
What you gonna do?
In every sense of the word.
Let's just say Ryan is an extremely lucky fantasy player.
I did not.
If we look at points for, I think he's like 8th or 9th.
Didn't I choose you as my
points against?
I chose you as my upset, and I was like, I'll just shoot for the moon, and it happened. And
so I'm ranked 2nd with like no idea who like 2 or 3 positions on my team are gonna be this week.
Yeah.
After
I know, I
Chris
looked at our
Carson was
matchup.
benched. Chris Carson was benched for being gassed.
Yes.
Come on, dude. Hit the treadmill, bro.
You're a pro. All right. Talking about Chris Carson here. We go into our freak out session. Freak out. All right. Here we go. Ryan, what was your freak out? You were just talking about him.
Yep, Chris Carson.
Your whole
He
roster.
said he was
really.
gassed. Pete Carroll, ever since Marshawn Lynch has left, that backfield has turned into Carolina. It's untrustworthy and something to completely avoid in fantasy. So if you have Rashad Penny or Chris Carson, we're not going to know anything for like probably 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, Carolina, theirs is untrustworthy, but they still get some value and points off them. You just don't know who's getting that.
Yeah.
Seattle's untrustworthy because like none of them can get going, so you don't know who to pick up.
Yep.
Sean, what was your freak out?
Yeah, I'll do mine first since you stole it.
I kind of did, but yeah, let's roll with that.
David Johnson. Starting to freak out for you, Joe, there. I actually sent him a trade offer today to
David Johnson.
check his temperature and see where he was at with
Hope you
David
looked
Johnson.
at that
I've
one.
always had a huge crush on David Johnson, but I'm
crush.
legitimately scared for David Johnson here. This Arizona offense is going to be this bad, I think. Like, legitimate. What you're looking at is Todd Gurley the year you had him when he just, completely pooped the bed for you.
Yeah, when was it?
Bradford
had
Straight
90 yards passing
Yeah.
in an NFL game for all 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I was like, I
not
agreed
good.
with Sean there because I think David Johnson. I know David Johnson's good, but his team sucks.
yeah.
Right now, and you can't get anything when they know we just got to take care of him and a 38-year-old receiver.
Yep.
All right, then there's nothing else they have to worry about. So yeah, that was pretty tough. All right, now we're moving on to shoulda, coulda, woulda. That time when that bench player that you wish you knew was going
We
to
all do this.
blow up and you didn't start him. This week, Sean, who was that shoulda, coulda, woulda?
So it was Phil in a
Phil.
very close game there with Ryan. He had Bilal Powell on his bench and really could have used those points because I think he lost by like 4 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he started TJ Yeldon, and that didn't really go well for him.
Yeah, it's like at times Bilal Powell will produce, but it's not a trustworthy name. You have to be like deep in fantasy football
Yeah,
to
he
know
went-
that Bilal Powell's going to come out. Because
Yeah.
namesake by itself, you look at it, it's like, that's not a sexy pick.
He went with
Right.
the TJ Yeldon there, just hoping that he would get all the Fournette touches, and it just didn't happen. Corey Grant was really the star.
Oh, yeah.
so.
End of the game. I was watching the end of that game, and Corey Grant was in there. Yeldon did like one nice little screenplay there, but like in the third, fourth, like where was Yeldon?
Yep.
Right?
It was nothing. They were throwing to the tight end forever.
Yep.
On that
Yeah,
side.
because I saw him, and I don't think he did anything in the second half. Kind of like Chris Carson.
Yeah. It's a good segue, though, to the waiver wire here because I believe Andy picked up Corey Grant. So
Yeah, I mean,
got him for free. Not a bad
zero.
thing to do.
There were a lot of $0 pickups this week in waiver wire, so that's good. You guys looking at like specific players. I think the one guy that makes me happy, Ryan FitzMagic, all right, was trying to be claimed like 6 times. All right,
Yeah.
and the winner being the commish himself with
Yeah,
$11. I mean,
my
it wasn't
name
that
is
expensive.
Sean Patrick Fitzgibbons.
Yeah,
Fitzmagic deserves to
It
be
was
on
a
my
match
team.
made in heaven.
So
Yes.
I was pretty happy with it, 1-by-1. One
Yes,
point there.
over Phil, Tidewater Turtle, with Daniel.
Apparently Morgan tried to put one in too, but he's had an illegal roster because he Wentz came off the IR there.
Oh man!
He said he had put 12.
But you
And I
even
was-
had Phil put one in. It was a $0 claim, so everybody wanted
everybody was
going
in
after
on
the
Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic.
All right, guys, what do you think? Do you think Fitzmagic is gonna be good?
I don't
three
think-
weeks from now.
that is pushing it. I don't know about
Okay.
that. It's really going to depend on his matchups, and I picked him up just for this week.
Okay.
'cause he's playing Pittsburgh, who's been awful.
So if
and
you
they've been
need
in
a
all these
quarterback
shootouts. Yeah. So
this week,
this week it's worth it, but I don't know. I mean, it's at some point he's going to turn back into regular Fitzpatrick.
that's your prediction.
I am
That's-
making the bold prediction.
Okay, let's
and say
hear it.
He's writing it out and will be a top 5 fantasy
Top
quarterback
5.
the whole season. You know why?
Why?
Because Jameis Winston can't touch it.
Nope.
He can't even touch him right now. When they go QB film rooms, Winston is in the back by the trash can, keeping the door open. All right, just making sure when
Dang.
Fitzmagic comes in, he's open. I mean,
Cold.
that's how far it is in that QB room. And even Deshaun Jackson himself came out. It's like he's the hot man. You got to keep him going.
Yeah.
But that's like the above saying down deep in his heart, it's like, shoot, I've never gotten the ball this much in years. Let's keep this guy rolling. I think he might go down a little bit, but that offense with those receivers is made for FitzMagic.
I'm with you. I think he's going to be good all season. I'll just say it. So he's at least good this week, if not longer.
Then we left out the big ticket item here. David putting $36 on Aaron Jones.
$36 on Aaron Jones. Who
Out
else
of
bid on Aaron
400,
Jones?
out of 400, so we're clear.
Man
It's
of the
not
people
that big,
put
but-
0 at him.
Yeah, so you talk about him here, Ryan. You were obviously interested in Aaron Jones.
Yeah, well, he's coming back. People are talking him up, and I'm a sucker for analyst talk.
Yeah,
So.
a running back that can.
And honestly, I just need running back help, so I think he's going to be good. But the chatter right now is that he's going to be real low on the depth chart. The chatter from the head coach, McCarthy.
Yeah, McCarthy.
Yep.
Stuff you guys know. Blah, 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 McCarthy,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Well, it could be a good pickup.
I think it will
going
be.
in.
I think
Yeah.
after the whole, we're going to punish you phase has subsided, he'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like there, Joe picking up Will Disley. That tight end. He's become like one of the favorite targets. You got Russell Wilson loving him. He got picked up a garbage time touchdown on Monday night, but he's a really, really good tight end out of nowhere. And I believe this is the second week in a row, Joe, that you've gone for a tight end. I think you had some tight end issues.
Yeah.
Because you just dropped Austin Seferian-Jenkins, who actually had a good game for Jacksonville.
Who dropped Evan Ingram, by the way? Thank you
know,
for that, whoever that was.
That might have been me.
No,
I'm not quite
I don't
sure.
know who that-
No, I didn't pick him up there.
Somebody dropped him, and I was very happy.
Anyways, and look, Matt Ryan getting picked up by Tim. That was, some dropping Nick Chubb, which we haven't seen anything. I don't know. Right now it's Thursday Night Football. Who knows?
Oh,
if he's
he
getting
did
around.
now.
So we got a lot of moving and shaking.
Yeah.
But let's go into
Putting in a waiver
the game
request.
of the week from this past week.
Yeah, that
Week
was
2.
Ryan. You were part of it. No, I'm sorry.
No, not right. We were talking about Baltimore Birds
That's
versus
right.
punt.
David twice in a
intended.
row here.
I know, right?
Close games.
Tim coming out 123.7 over David at 122.9.
That pick six at the end of that game.
It was huge. I mean, we were watching Sunday and looking at this game. We were watching NFL games. We kept looking at our league scores, and this was going back and forth here. And David's 0-2, but barely.
So close, losing
Barely.
both games.
He's like the best 0-2 I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And punt intended, all right. Good old Tim James is back in the league 1-1, tied at third.
Yep.
In the ESPN rankings.
We're all kind of crammed there in the middle. We're all that
Yep.
sitting at that 1.5 or 2.5 wins.
I mean, you go back and forth here. Demarius Thomas, for punt and 10, only had 4 points.
Yep.
But at the same time,
got
Jack Doyle got only 3 at the tight end spot.
You got the Ajayi Aguilar mix up again.
Yeah.
Aguilar went off on his bench with 19 and Ajayi only 9.
But as we know as fantasy owners, we can all say it. If it's a kicker or a defense, that's the difference. It really hurts. And
It does.
David looked at it as a Raven fan.
-2.
To get -2 points.
I had
Negative two.
And
I
then
had
Tim-
-2 as
If
well.
you get
this week.
Salt in the
Zero's
wound.
better. In this matchup.
Yes.
Your favorite team's defense
0, -2, math.
probably lost you this matchup.
Yep.
That's a tough one. But that was game of the week. It was exciting to watch that go down all the way down to the wire. All right. So calling up our upset of next week, coming up here week 3. What's your upset call, Sean?
All right, so just toot my own horn here. Got it right. Daniel pulled through for me and beat Andy. So this week I got David. You just talked about him.
Yeah.
there. I mean, he's just too good at 0-2 there.
He's owed one.
He's got to get it.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the week he takes down Joe. So
David taking down Joe. Yep. And for me last week, I picked Ryan here to beat Phil, and it happened. I had no idea that would. Again, he's just committing fantasy crimes and just getting away with it. I don't know how.
If you look at my roster right now, there's a lot of vacant spots.
puzzle.
Yes. So now I am coming with some fantasy karma, and I'm picking Sean over Ryan.
like it.
Ryan's gonna be put back in his place.
Nah.
The crimes are stopping today. All right. Detective Sean is coming to bust you, put you in the brink. All right. We're gonna put you in the slammer. All right. You hear me? Hear the chains talking? That's what I'm talking about. Ryan, you didn't even pick an upset yet.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
what's
got
your
one.
upset?
I can't give up on Morgan yet. Beating your booty.
Oh, Going right back at
Going
you.
right at me.
I can't give up on him yet. He's 0-2. But you know what? I think that he'll get a win eventually, and why not this week?
Is Morgan the Buffalo Bills of our league?
He might be. He's
He
got
might be.
the big one on his team. And
I don't know.
He's got McCoy.
I don't
no, he's not that
understand.
bad.
No.
He's not that bad.
I hope so this week. You can be better, Morgan, after this week.
He's more like our Raiders. You know, they're 0-2.
Like the Raiders.
They thought they had all this promise.
You love how John
They
Gruden's
just mismanaged.
Gruden's going out there and he's like, man, we need to find a pass rusher. I'm like, you had one. You traded him away.
Yeah, and if you seen what
How
he's been
you
doing,
coming-
he's
Yeah.
defensive player of the league right now.
He's
so.
single-handedly just being amazing, and you're saying, we need to find a pass rusher. Pay the guy.
He didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be here. We had practice. You do a better job with this accent. Let's try.
Oh,
Let's
Gruden?
hear it. Yeah.
He did not want to be here. That was terrible. That was way too country. Hold on. I got to channel the
want
inner
to be here.
Gruden.
Channel the Gruden.
Man, he did not want to be here, man.
That's a good one.
So we didn't pay him.
Oh, man. That's
not bad.
Here. That's pretty good.
It's much better than the first attempt.
Well, you know what's pretty good, too? Like we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, Phil's getting married. And we had a special little segment for Phil. All right. He was in our studios recording
Yes.
our segment where we just really want to give Ryan. Remember, he was the most, romantic?
You're most romantic, yeah. So
He was
this is all
giving
your
some
fault.
romance advice to our young boy, Phil.
So here you go.
Take it away. Welcome, everybody, the whole wide world, to the Love Guru session. Here's your hype man, FitzMagic. Magic. I want to introduce our guest host here, Ryan, Dr. Cupid Mekis. It's been rumored he jams out with Prince back in the day. Obviously not now. And that Tostitos made a salsa, but it was too spicy to be on the shelves because they said the Mecca special was too hot.
That's right. That's right.
All right, Ryan, Dr. Cupid, take it away.
So today we got Phil here. Thank you, first of all, for that.
No problem.
Today we got Phil on the show because this is a really important time in his life.
Yeah, it is.
Phil is about to be married
Get
on
married.
Saturday.
2 days, less than 2 days.
Congratulations, Phil.
Yeah.
Everybody at home,
Thank
give
you.
it up for
Amen,
Phil.
brother. Ooh. That's one side.
But before we get all excited here, we have to remember that there are certain things in a marriage that one has to do to keep things spicy.
Oh, say it's true. Say it's true.
So we're here to talk today about a few of these things to give Phil some romantic advice for his next step in life. And I was voted the most romantic by Phil
For a reason.
2 weeks ago.
Dr. Cupid.
And so I've come up with a few things that I think are going to really help you on your journey, on your marriage journey.
Yeah,
I've got
I'm all ears.
6
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's go.
First of all, just because I'm single doesn't mean anything. Like, girls are just kind of intimidated, I think, of me because I'm just,
Swipe left.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, they're intimidated. So, like, that's the anyways, that's, like, irrelevant here.
Irrelevant.
Girls, there's a huge push right now for feminism, right? Girl power, right?
Yeah, I'd say
So
it's
to be
pretty
in
accurate.
full like agreement with this, you have to hold that standard
Gotta
all the time.
hold that line.
And you need to know something, Phil. Girls are feminists until they don't want to do something. Isn't that right?
Yes.
They're feminists until they don't want to lift that couch, or they don't want to take out the trash, or they don't want to wash the clothes.
Where
You
does
know what I'm
this
saying? So, if a girl tells you, if your wife tells you, look, take out the trash, you know, like, you'd be like, no, I believe in equality. You take out the trash. Boom.
Equal.
Drop the mic. Equality.
I think I'm starting to see why Ryan might be one of the few unmarried guys.
2,
Point 2.
defend your honor, okay? Defend your honor. You're going to have to be a master debater. There's some kind of myth out there that, like, you have to, like, be... How does it go, Chris? How does it go? Like, you can be right.
Oh,
or-
you can be happy or right, but you can't be both.
Right. Thank you.
Think about that in arguments.
If you're always stuck in a corner wrong, you're never going to be happy.
Never.
Never going to be happy. So I would suggest to you to take some debate classes before you get married. Even between now and Saturday, you can learn a lot of good debating tactics so that you win
Online
every
webinars.
argument, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do I learn to debate like Ryan Love Guru Mekas?
You got to watch some YouTube videos of good debaters. The third
Secrets.
bullet point I have, and this is really the reason I'm single right now, is women want billowing chest hair. Okay? As much chest hair as possible. As much like, yes.
They need Chris level chest hair.
There's a reason this guy's married.
Married, yeah.
And you just saw it, ladies and gentlemen.
Authentic.
If you
So-
missed it, rewind a little.
It's like sheep's wool.
So a simple way to, if I know you have some chest hair, but a simple way
Alpaca.
to help yourself is to get some Rogaine shots.
Okay.
Inject in patterns. Do
Ooh.
it evenly
Is
across.
is there a
chest.
suggested pattern?
I would do.
I have some to spare if you need some.
All right. The fourth, always be creative. Okay.
Quattro.
People say roses. Forget roses. Okay. Forget roses. Girls don't even like roses. Okay.
Roses
They
are
always
red.
they always say like, oh, it's the heart behind it that counts. Like they don't give a crap about the roses.
Lies.
You want to engage her sense of her five senses with this. Okay. Sight, touch, smell, sound, and taste. Okay? So instead of roses, imagine this, for example, to engage the five senses. Engage. Okay? Get some shell, right? Get a Speedo. Put on a Speedo. Roll yourself in some shell.
Fill in a
Put
Speedo.
yourself in a freezer. Come out. Boom. The sound, your voice. What's up, baby? Boom.
What's up,
So romantic. Okay? You'll have to take that and just kind of play with it and figure out, how to get better at that. But
Frostbite.
you want to engage the five senses, Phil.
Roger.
Okay.
That made no sense.
The sixth bullet point I have for you. Speedos keep a marriage together. Okay? Any opportunity you can to wear a Speedo.
Okay.
Speedo it out.
That's all I got for you, Phil.
Okay.
Speedo in a
And
tracksuit.
I really hope it helps you. I wish you the very
Yeah,
best.
I appreciate all your help. I plan on practicing all of
problem.
those.
Phil's getting married.
And at this point, we're going to turn to our out-of-town love expert from Phoenix, Arizona, Daniel Kalana.
He has a PhD in love.
He does. So
Oh,
he's going to
boy.
give you a few pointers right now.
Okay.
About,
I'm looking forward to
about
it.
your love life.
Let's
go
go.
ahead, Daniel.
Go, Daniel, go.
Well, I would definitely tell Phil to make sure that, one, he always has to point himself and his wife towards the Lord. You can't go wrong there. I'd also tell Phil, don't spend so much time on fantasy football. Just kind of take it easy once you get married.
Oh, I hear you on that. I think David and I talk about this a lot, your brother, that we spend so little time on fantasy football. So I don't foresee that being an issue, but I do appreciate you pointing that out. Yeah.
Yeah, please do. Please relax a lot.
And
on the
trade
fantasy.
away all your players.
Yeah. I am not looking forward to when I'm on the honeymoon week, whoever I'm playing that week. I don't know who I'm playing, but they do have an upper hand. I won't be making any waiver wire moves or anything. So props to whoever plays me that week. Huh?
Phil will be making a different kind of move, just not on the waiver wire.
Yeah. I like it. That I will.
So true.
So true. Thank you, Dan. Did you have anything else for Phil?
It's just go Turtles.
Go Turtles.
That is not for me.
Turtle.
Well, thank you so much for your advice. I know that you've repaired countless marriages, so I appreciate your time. So,
Countless marriages.
all right.
No,
Have a good
that's
day,
all that
man.
matters.
All right. See ya, man. Bye.
All right. I hope you found that hilarious, not
No.
creepy,
Educational?
educational.
Educational.
Maybe you guys can take that back as some romance advice for yourself. Mm-hmm. Go get a Speedo. All right. So next week, let's talk about what we got coming up on the upper horizon, Sean. What do we have for the listeners to expect?
Yeah, next week we got some fun interviews possibly. We're looking at Morgan's going to be in town this week. So
Oh, yeah.
Phil's wedding there. We're going to possibly have him on the show next week. So I look forward to that. And then we'll kind of do some similar stuff with our, traditional waiver wire game of the week.
There we
Coulda,
go.
shoulda, woulda.
Yeah. FitzMagic will this is his only appearance right now.
I don't know. If the people ask for it, it may have to continue. So
Yes,
leave a comment if you want to see it again. Our millions of viewers.
FitzMagic.
We'll keep getting this lower and lower.
Yeah, well, get more and more chest hair to belly hair. It's a little lint in my belly button. Yeah.
All right.
That's exactly
Send
what
us
the
out of
listeners
here, Ryan.
want.
If you want to see more of Chris like this, leave us a comment. Like and subscribe, and have a great week, y'all.
We're out.
Chris really hopes they don't comment.